Welcome everyone, thank you for joining us here today. My name is Paul Lande. I'm a product line director at DNV, and we are here today to give you an update on Emissions Connect, to talk about where we are, to talk about the upcoming FuelEU Maritime regulation and how Emissions Connect is adapting to support the industry's needs. We are also going to hear from one of our customers at the end of this session, Gram Car Carriers, so please stay tuned. Since the rollout of Emissions Connect, we have gotten a lot of feedback from our customers. Some of this is that we hear that having verified statements for handling the EU ETS in the commercial setting is key. Having continuous insights into the data is critical for handling the business implications. Now, with the introduction of the FuelEU Maritime regulation, in addition to the European Union Emission Trading Scheme and the Carbon Intensity Indicator, we hear new concerns bubbling up from the industry, such as how will this impact me and my company? What is our financial exposure, if any? And then a continued belief that data verification and statements will be important for handling the new regulation. And this is exactly what we're here to talk about today. Now, since its inception, Emissions Connect has rapidly grown to become an indispensable tool for many in the maritime industry. And today, Emissions Connect serves around 4,500 vessels. And so far in 2024, year to date, Emissions Connect has verified EU ETS allowances with a sum value of around 300 million euros. But we are not stopping there. Today we are proud to launch our new FuelEU module. And to talk more about the module itself, I'm happy to introduce my colleague Mette, who is the product manager for Emissions Connect. But before we talk about the details of the module, Mette, can you talk a bit about what the regulation itself is about?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So the FuelEU Maritime regulation is a regulation that aims at reducing the greenhouse gas intensity for energy used on board vessels. This is quite a challenging regulation, as it takes into account the fuel all the way through its life cycle, from production throughout the logistics and all the way to the consumption on board the vessel. The GHG intensity limits set by FuelEU are designed in such a way that it will tighten all the way until 2050. For companies not managing to reach these targets, the regulation has set up some mechanisms that can be used. So if you have vessels that have a deficit in compliance balance, you can either borrow from next year, that comes with a 10% interest, or you can form a pool. A pool is something that you can form internally in your company, or you can do it with other companies as well. The aim for forming a pool will be to reach compliance balance with the aggregate of the vessels in the pool. If you have a surplus, you can either bank it and use it later years, or you can put your vessels into a pool with vessels that also have deficits, again then to reach compliance balance at the end of the year. What we see is that different companies take different approaches to how to handle FuelEU. It's many actors involved in order to make it all come together in the annual reporting. So typically it is the ISM company that has responsibility towards the national authorities. That gives them some financial burdens that they typically want to pass on to the ship owner. The ship owner again typically wants to pass these on to the charterer. So a little bit dependent on how contracts are set up and what kind of trade companies do, there are various ways of doing this. What we see is that annual reporting is not enough. You need to have control and monitor how this develops throughout the year to be able to reach a compliance balance at the end of the year. And in order to do this, there is one critical point, and that is to have the same verified data that can be used by all parties in this value chain. And this is where Emission Connect comes in. Currently, we have partnerships with more than 40 companies, helping us to receive data from vessels into DNV. In DNV, we do verification of this data. And again, they will be used throughout the value chain of the shipping companies. So the crucial thing is that all parties work on the same data and that these data are verified. So let's have a look into the FuelEU Maritime module as it currently looks in Emission Connect. So for those of you already using Emission Connect, you will see that we build upon the same systematics as we have for CII and ETS. Purpose for this is that you will have a good customer experience so that it's easy for you to also take this one module on board. So we have a fleet overview on FuelEU, that is what you currently see at the screen, where you can see the aggregated numbers for your fleet. You can also here go down to the level of pools and see how different pools will play out for you. In addition, we will have a vessel monitoring view where you see more details on the vessel. You can see the sailing pattern and you can also see the different fuel components used. In addition, we will have a voyage view where you can generate statement for a period or for a voyage. Again, these statements can be used for communicating with your business partners. And we also have a simulation. You can simulate both on a vessel and on a fleet. And again, this tool we have designed so that you actually can test out your different business strategies and end up at a good point at the end of the year regarding FuelEU Maritime. So, dear audience, Emission Connect is ready for your free trial today, so please use this URL to order your free trial.
And now we are very pleased to welcome to the studio Børre Matthiesen, COO of Gram Car Carriers, who has been a long-time customer of Emissions Connect. To hear from him what business impacts all of these new emission regulations has. Welcome, Børre. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's good. First, Børre, how did Gram Car Carriers prepare for the European Union emission trading system?
I think for us, it's of course the first and critical thing was to understand or try to understand the regulation, and also then towards our customers get the clauses in place in the contracts that cover the ETS regulation and transfer of emission rights. So that is something we started already back 21-22 with those preparations, and we have today full coverage of how to treat ETS with all our clients.
Good, so you were actually early in the preparation phase. That's not everyone who can say that.
No, thank you. And we were also then working closely with DNV as also pilot users of Emission Connect at that time. Initially with CII, but also later with the ETS module. So and have been using that and also been giving hopefully valuable input to DNV and how to develop it further. So, but today we make our statements through Emission Connect and send those to our customers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of my second question. How are you dealing with this on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so on a daily basis we use Emission Connect to measure and keep track of emissions in trades to, from and within Europe. Then we also have another system that is more related to the customer. So there we have emissions per customer. This is fully integrated with Emissions Connect. So these two systems together make sure that we have a full overview of the status for with each customer, with each vessel, and we have also, of course, the account overview in the EU emission account registry. So we are. So I think we have then, with these three systems integrated, we have full overview of our position and where we are in collecting emission rights. So we are as a tonnage provider, we charter out vessels, so we don't operate themselves. So basically the principle is that all our customers will transfer EUAs to our registry account, and then we will then settle with EU in the following year. Interesting.
So I guess this means that you have started to think about the FuelEU Maritime regulation as well. What are you doing to prepare for that?
Yeah, there are several levels. I think on FuelEU, of course, it's contractually, it's something BIMCO is working on now. We have not really made contractual description of how to handle it, and it's also a bit different than ETS, because you also have this possibility to pool, say, poor performing vessels with better performing vessels, and there we can both see merits, say, within our group to pool vessels that are poor performing with good performing, but also we have also customers that have similar requirements, and I think this is really discussions that are ongoing now, but it's not formalized yet. We have also here been in dialogue with DNV on the FuelEU Maritime part of Emissions Connect. We're having also this week meetings with DNV on that, but then it's so we are in the preparational stage, I would say, to FuelEU Maritime, but it's the way I see it's a bit complicated to see exactly how we will handle it, because there are many various interests, and there's also a lot of unpredictability in terms of vessels that may be very beneficial to trade in European water, but where the charter of the vessel might need it somewhere else. So for us, the most important now is to at least ensure contractually that we as owner want to actually remain fairly neutral, that we're not exposed to any additional risks. We want to have our customers really exposed to any of the, say, unexpected consequences of FuelEU Maritime, and I think that really starts with discussions on contractual terms.
Interesting. So I guess that means that there is a lot of complexity still, but having a baseline in terms of contracts and data management is at least the key that you can do, and you are already doing, right?
Yes, we are. And I think our customers, we have basically large operators as customers, so they already have strategies as well on coping with it. And I think to date they are taking that responsibility, and they're not really pushing it towards us at this point. So I think we have a constructive dialogue with all our customers.
Great. Thank you, Børre, for joining us on this short interview to shed some light. And that's it for today. For those of you joining us, thank you for watching. And please remember that the FuelEU module of Emissions Connect is now available. Get your free trial today.